Hi everyone, Marie here from Beyond Opinions. It's already week 2 of March, and this is my second weekly wrap-up. Where's the time going? The first thing I read this week was Sweet Tooth, which is a graphic novel by Jeff Lemire, I think. Sweet Tooth is about a child who is part human, part animal hybrid. He's been raised in isolation after some kind of pandemic that struck earlier, and a lot of people died. His father recently dies, and he's left to defend for himself. He ends up meeting this drifter named Jeopard, who promises to help him, take him to this place called the Preserve. We just sort of see what he goes through there. I gave this graphic novel a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. There didn't seem to be anything that I didn't like an overly big bunch. It was a nice read. The second thing I read this week was a fairy tale manga, volume 1. I seen Connor over at Connor O'Brien's talk about this quite a bit, so I thought I'd check it out. This is the very first manga that I've ever read, so take that for as it is, because I don't really have too much experience with manga, but I really did enjoy this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. This series is about a celestial wizard named Lucy who wants to join the Fairy Tale Guild. Her ambitions land her in the clutches of a gang of unsavory pirates led by a devious magician. Her only hope is from a boy named Natsu, I think you pronounce it, and he gets motion sickness a lot, eats like a pig, and his best friend's a talking cat. So it was very enjoyable. It's all done in black and white. I'm not sure if that's all manga style. Like I said, this is the very first one that I read, and it takes you a bit because I've never read manga, so it's reading from the back to the front and from the right to the left, and it took me a bit, but once I got into it, it was great. If you're interested in checking out some manga, I would definitely try this one. And I've also started to watch the fairy tale anime on Netflix, so just a heads up if you're interested in that too. The third book I read was The Winter's Curse by Marie Rakowski, and I gave this a 3 out of 5 star. This book is about a 17-year-old girl named Kestrel, I think, and she's the general's daughter of a vast empire, and she has two choices: to join the military or get married. One day she started to find a friendship and a young slave that she bought at an auction. Aaron, I think his name is pronounced. She starts to fall in love with Aaron and has to keep this a secret because she obviously can't be in love with her slave. And later on she finds out a secret of his that kind of makes her regret, I guess, the decision to buy him in the first place. I know that a lot of people like this book. I didn't find it very catching. I dragged through it hoping that it would end for the good majority of it. It wasn't until I got to the end that it started to pick up and I started to enjoy reading it. However, the big reasons I can't tell you that I did enjoy it because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But what I can tell you is that I didn't get attached to the characters. I didn't find that I cared about them at all, and when I don't care about characters, then I find the book very flat for me. The storyline itself was interesting. I think it had a lot of potentials if the characters were more developed. And lastly, I read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander, aka J.K. Rowling. It's a very small read. It is the textbook that Harry Potter used in Harry Potter. And it's all about the beasts that are in the wizarding world. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I know that it's a very popular book, and I know that everybody loves it. And I think it could have been a really good book. I didn't enjoy it. It was very boring. It was laid out like a textbook. And what I figured that it would have, like inside the book, you can see it has, I'm not sure if you can see anything. It has a little blurb about each of the beasts. I think if they had an illustration for each beast, I think it would have been phenomenal because you would have been able to see what you were looking at. Also throughout the book, you see little tidbit, I can't even see here. You see little tidbits where Ron or Harry were reading or writing little notes. Those don't happen as frequently as I thought they would. I would have figured that, I think it would have been nicer if it was a bigger book and in the margins and stuff, you had Harry and Ron both writing stuff, maybe in a different color ink or something. But what you did have for writing, yes, that was funny, but it was very infrequently, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think it could have been a lot better and a lot more. So that's what I read this week. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought of them, if there's any that you actually want to read. Let me know what you're reading this week. This week coming, I'm pretty much just reading the same things that I put in my video for last week, so I'm not going to really go through them all again. I'm still reading Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm still reading Winter by Marissa Myers and A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. And I think there's something else in there that I can't remember right now. I might add another manga or graphic novel in the mix just to space it up. I'm having a very difficult time getting through a couple of them. So we'll see how this week goes. Hopefully I'll be able to finish those off and get them out of my way. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!